everyone, and welcome to our primary cultural lesson. So this week, or today, we are going to be looking at constellations. So constellations are patterns that stars in the sky make up that when you look up and you connect those stars, they make recognizable pictures. So people have been using these pictures or constellations for thousands of years for different things. Um, so they have names that people have used for them to help them talk about these constellations and help them use them. So people used to use them to travel, so they would know that a particular constellation was in, say, the north part of the sky, so they could look for that constellation and they could head towards it to know while traveling that they were headed north. So anyway, let's go ahead. Today we're going to look at 6 different constellations. So what you're going to need for this lesson is to get into your cultural packet and get the paper that looks like this. So you can see it has the 6 different constellations. There is another couple of pages, 2 pages that have constellations on them, but we're going to look at those on a different lesson. So find this paper, and then you're going to also need, of course, a nice flat surface to work on, a pair of scissors, and then a crayon, a marker, or a colored pencil, but one that you're going to be able to see well on your paper. So I chose a nice dark blue to do mine. So the first thing that we wanted to do is let's cut our cards out, okay? So let's cut right on the line going down the middle first. All right, and then go ahead and cut them apart on the lines that are running horizontally here. And we'll do the same to the other side, cut along the horizontal line. Okay, and now let's go ahead and maybe organize them in a nice little stack. Now I'm going to try to put mine in the order that I know we're going to look at them today. I know that you don't know that yet, so no worries. Just organize your workspace. So I put mine in a nice little stack, and I'm going to set them off to the side. Okay, so the first constellation that we're going to talk about is one that you maybe have heard before. It's the Little Dipper, also known as Ursa Minor or Little Bear. So it looks like a dipper, like a spoon, a big scoop. And that's why it's called the Little Dipper. So this is pretty familiar. It is an interesting thing about the Little Dipper is this star up here at the tip of the handle is called Polaris, or the North Star. So like I was talking about earlier, when people travel and they're using just their own knowledge to find their way around, finding this North Star is a way for them to know which direction they were going. So what you're going to do right now is take your card for Little Dipper or Ursa Minor, and then let's color in each dot, and we'll connect them. So I'll do mine, and then I'll show you. Okay, so see I just colored the dots and then traced my Little Dipper. I'm going to set it over to the side. The next constellation that we're going to look at is called Cepheus. And Cepheus is also known as the king. So it's made up of 12 stars, like you can see, that kind of looks like a man wearing a hat. So this is Cepheus. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to color the dots, and then we'll trace and connect them. Okay, we have Cepheus here. And oh, you'll notice, and then I even forgot to color it in, the little star that kind of looks like an eye. We're not going to connect it to anything. So that's kind of neat. There's just a standalone star there. Okay. Here is another constellation that you could see in the evening sky, and this is Cassiopeia. This constellation is also known as the Queen of the Northern Sky. So this constellation was named after Queen Cassiopeia, which was a queen in Greek mythology. So you see this Cassiopeia kind of looks like W. So let's do the same thing and color those dots and connect them. Cassiopeia. This is a fun one. Our next one is the dragon. Its actual name is Draco, but that means dragon in Latin. So I think dragon is a little more relatable for us, right? We can remember dragon. It kind of looks like a dragon. And it's made up of 14 stars. That's a lot of stars in this dragon. So go ahead and color your dots and connect, or your stars, they're dots on paper, and connect them. And if you need to pause this, if I go too fast, of course, you already know that you can pause it and come back. Dragon. All right, our next constellation is known as the giraffe. So the giraffe is a large but faint, or which means not very bright, constellation. It's made up of 8 stars. So I've had a hard time finding this one, but maybe you'll have better luck. Maybe you have a place that you can go where there are not as many lights, and then you can try to find the giraffe, because it's harder to see. It's not as bright. Let's go ahead and color in our stars and connect them to make the giraffe constellation. Okay. All right, we have our final constellation that we're going to look at together. And so this one is known as Ursa Major, or the Great Bear. And there's another constellation that you might have heard of that makes up this Great Bear, and it's the Big Dipper. So we have the Little Dipper and then the Big Dipper. And Big Dipper forms a larger constellation that is Ursa Major, or Great Bear. So let's go ahead and let's draw and trace our own Ursa Major. All right, our Ursa Major, our Great Bear, with the big Deborah constellation making a part of the body and the neck and the head of the bear. Alright, so we just talked about 6 constellations, and now you have some cards that can kind of act as guides for you when you go out and you look at the sky at night and try to find some of those star patterns, those constellations. Another fun thing that you could do is you could make constellation cards on just a plain piece of paper by going out at night and finding some stars and maybe creating your own constellation, your own star picture. If you draw something like that, I would love to see them. So if you do that, feel free to have a parent share them with me because I would like to see them. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. I am going to share some videos where you can learn some more about constellations, maybe with like actual pictures of the night sky, because that would be helpful, I think. And I'm also going to make another video for those other sheets in your folder where if you have a few more supplies, then you can make something pretty cool. So thank you for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.